Over here, all the classes are 100% live and interactive classes. So if you have any sort of doubt, you can ask to the teacher in the classes only, and the teacher will explain everything to you in the classes. Secondly, we give personalized attention to each and every student because maximum 6 students are there in our classes, not more than that. This will help you to ask any sort of doubt without hesitation, and the teacher will also keep an eye on you, how you are progressing, how you are doing. If you are lagging in any particular parameter, everything will be observed by the teacher, and the teacher will help you to overcome that, right? Coming to the third thing which we have a very good dedicated academic mentor team who continuously track how you are progressing. So in which topic you were totally prepared, in which topic or which parameter you are lagging, so everything will be tracked, and according to that you will get the feedback. This feedback definitely will help you to progress and improve yourself, right? Hi Pragya, how are you? Okay, you were in class 9. Doesn't matter, beta. Okay, chalo. And the fourth thing, which is very, very important, is we cover the syllabus as per your school examination schedule. And also, we handle some of the custom requests generally. Like if you have any topic which is already done in your school, but you have not done it yet in Swiflearn, so we will do those topics first, and then we will move on to the rest of the topics, right? So these are the general features of Swiflearn, and let us now see what are the key features and why do you think this Swiflearn is totally different from any other platform. So first of all, we maintain a detailed progress report of each and every students, and accordingly you will also have the PTM. जैसे आपके स्कूल में भी होता है, इधर भी PTM होगा, and the parents will be able to directly contact with us, interact with us in those meetings, and if they also have any sort of feedback to give, they can always share. We are always there to help you out, right? Coming to the second thing, that is we have the Swiflearn academic test series, which in short we call it as SARS, which happen every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You will be able to attend over there, and you can perform, and your name and rank will be given on our leaderboard, right? Coming to the third and the fourth main important thing, that is we have unlimited practice test. So after completing each and every chapter, what you have to do is you have to practice writing question answers, right? Then only you will be totally clear about the concepts. So first of all, we have both types of questions over here, like the objective subjective, दोनों तरीके का है. तो objective question, just solve it and clear all your concepts, and subjective answers are very, very important, because generally we see that students used to lose marks in the subjective answers which carry 3 mark or 5 mark. Sometimes you get confused to write down the answer according to the marks, right? Where to include the diagram, where to include the chemical equations, so based upon the different subjects, right? Hi Jasmine. Okay, so here you will be able to write down the answers and submit it so that we can check your answer, and we will be able to give you the tips and tricks how to write the answer, and this will help you definitely to improve yourself, and it will never like let you lose any marks in your subjective answers, right? So to experience all these things, what you have to do, you have to book the trial class. So all the trial classes are free of cost. Book it anytime whenever you are free, and then enroll your name in our regular batches. Fine. So in the regular batches, we will meet every day and we will discuss a lot about the different topics. Now let's move on to the topic. Before that, let us see how to book the trial class. Beta Jasmine, you can book it from our website. Just download it, our application app, and just book it over there. Okay. Now coming to the topic, and before that, let me again remind you, whoever has not subscribed our channel, please subscribe it and press the bell icon so that you will never miss any of the update of the upcoming sessions. Before 30 minutes you will get the notification so that you can attend over here, and if you have any sort of doubt, you can ask it in the chat box. Okay, chalo, and don't forget to like, comment and share also. So let's begin with today's topic. Today, as you already see here, that we are going to start with a new topic, that is population, the increasing number and rising problems, which is there in ICSE board syllabus of class 10th. Okay, so this is very, very important topic. So it really doesn't matter whether you were in class 8th, 9th or 10th. We should know about the rising population definitely, because this is a huge problem which we are facing, and mainly we are facing in our country, right? So let's see what we are going to discuss in today's session. Basically, we will see what is population first of all. Then we will see the rapid rise in the population, how this population is rising day by day, right? Then we will see about the different models of population growth and what are the different control measures we should adapt so that this population growth will be maintained or it can be controlled. Fine. Then we will study about our country, how the population is growing in our country and what are the different problems we are facing all the time. Then we will study about what are the different pressures which are having on the natural resources. The statistical terms, we will come to know what are the different statistical terms which are related to this population growth in our country as well as all over the world. And finally, we will study about the population education, which is very, very important to control the population. Okay? Chalo. So let's start with the population. So we already know this what is population, and it is a really very important, like very problematic of the rising of the population. We already know, like, so what do you mean by population in your words? Can anybody tell me, Pragya or Jasmine? Yes, can anybody tell me what do you mean by population, or how can you determine what can be the population in a particular area or a particular time? uh, so you can write it down in the chat box, and as you already know that whoever will give me most of the answers correctly in the chat box, he or she will become the student of the session. I'll write your name on the screen at the end of the session, right? Yes. Chalo. So what can be the population? It is nothing but a group of people or a group of a similar species, we can say. We can also say the population of ant in a particular area in a given time, right? Or a population of elephant in a particular forest in a given time, right? So similarly, population of human being is also there of a particular geographical region at a particular time. Means how many human being is residing in a particular area, geographical area, in a particular time. It can be the geographical area can include a whole country, or it can include a very small city, or it can include the whole state also. Okay. So this is the population which we are going to study today. So the total number of people who are residing or who are staying in a particular area, geographical area, whether it is a city or a state or a country, doesn't matter, in a given time. This is known as the population of that city or country or so on. Fine. Now, this population is basically increasing day by day. We can see in the various media, in the mass communication, like in various types of advertisements, also here and there, that we are facing a lot of different types of problems, basically, like air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, or any different type, global warming. So, these are all due to the rising of the human population, right? So this problem should be eradicated. So we will try our best to educate the people so that this problem will at least come into a control and we can maintain a balance of the population in a given area. Okay. So the world population in different ages, let us see how it has been started, the population of the human being, and how it is increasing day by day. If I talk about the Stone Age, which was like 50,000 years ago, so the human population in the whole world was 1 million. Okay. Now after like 40,000 years, if I think about, like, just from now 10,000 years back, the human population all over the world became 5.3 million, and now it is increasing a lot. So we can see that a huge increase of the population is happening throughout the world, right? Not only our particular to our country, it is increasing throughout the world. So what was the different methods they were following at that time, and what were the different development or the advancement which has taken place, so the population is also increasing? Let us discuss that first. So first of all, if I talk about the Stone Age, that was like 50,000 years back. So people at that time did nothing. They could not they didn't know about about the agriculture, they didn't know about how to cook, how to build their house and all. They used to take shelter in the caves. They just hunt the different animals and eat it. They didn't know about the different types of spices, the different growth of the agricultural crops or something like that. So they just eat the raw flesh or just roast it on the fire and just eat it. It was so simple life. And for hunting and all, they used to like make the different tools which are basically making made of the different stones. Okay, so this is all about the stone age, and that is why as they use the different types of tools made up of stones, we call that age as the stone age. Now after that, what happened, if I talk about just before 10,000 years ago from now, we can see that people started domesticating the animals, like the different domestic animals, dog, cow, sheep, goat and all, so that they can get a lot of different types of care, protection, the different products from these domesticated animals, right? They started sowing crops and stored the food, so that with the increase of the population, it is also there in their mind, so that all of the family members will have their food. So they slowly started the agricultural thing. Thirdly, they started living in a settled community, started making the very primitive houses made up of mud and all, right? Not the houses which we are living now, but the very primitive type of the preliminary type of huts and all. And they gradually replace all those stone tools to the different types of tools which are made up of the different metals. Okay, so they started replacing those tools and weapons which were first used or made up of the stones into the different metal weapons, like the bronze metals, like irons and all. They started using all these things. So after this revolution, what happened, the humans stepped into the metal age, as they have started their progression of making the metal tools and weapons, so that they can stop using those stone, because the stone tools were very much heavy, and the metals, if you think comparatively, they are less heavy and very easily they can carry from one place to another. So they shifted like that. Okay, and started making all these things. So here what happened, as a result of all this progress, the human population also began to grow faster, because they have already started leading their very luxurious life. They have started leading their very comfortable life and all, and they started started the process of agriculture, cultivation, domestication of the animals and all, so that this helped them to increase their family members, lead a very good life, right? But nowadays, due to the two main causes which are continuously increasing and improving, basically. Hi Harjeet, how are you? What are the two main causes for that the rapid rise in the population is seen? First of all is the industrial revolution. Okay, a lot has been changed due to this industrial revolution. And second is the various discoveries and the various improvement in the medical science. Okay, so this medical science is improving a lot. That is why the death rate, which was previously very high, it is becoming less, and the birth rate, means giving birth to the young ones, is becoming high. And there was a very huge problem previously, that is the infant mortality, where the just after the birth, if the infants are not getting proper amount of nutrition, or they are suffering from any sort of diseases, they used to die. But nowadays, due to the increase or improvement of our medical science, what happened, that this death rate has been decreased and the birth rate has been increased, and this gives a huge rise, rapid rise in the human population. Up to this much clear hai? Yes. Now let us see what are the different things, the changes has been taken place in these two types of revolution. First of all, let us go for the industrial revolution, it basically began around like 17th century, and people rapidly grow the industries, making of the beautiful different things started. They human life become very much luxurious, comfortable. They get more opportunities for the job, more production of food is there. So it people started knowing about a lot of different discoveries, the luxurious, how to lead their life comfortably, and they started living, and they started doing a lot of researches so that they can make their life more easy, right? This is one thing. And secondly, the various discoveries in the medical science, like mainly the discoveries of the antibiotics to certain different bacterial diseases, and the prophylactic vaccination against the different types of viruses and all. So you already know about the different vaccines. What are the vaccines? Vaccination is important for what and all, because we are so much like aware of the corona vaccination nowadays, right? So we have to take the vaccine, and also that we can at least live steadily, we can live comfortably. At least we will, even if we come in contact with the different viruses, at least we will not die, right? We can overcome the disease. So these are the main discoveries of the medical science, so that the human population can stay alive for a long period of time. And if I think about the lifespan of the human being, previously it was 60 70 years on an average, the lifespan of human being. But if I think now, so due to this new discoveries in the medical science, we can say that the average lifespan of the human being has also been increased, and it is also like 80, and sometimes 85 90 years also. It is very easily the people are surviving. Do you agree with me? Yes. Okay, so this chapter is basically very easy chapter. What you have to do is you have to know it. If you just know the different facts, if you just understand the different fact, whatever question answers comes, you can write it on your own. Okay, there is nothing to just mug up, or nothing to just remember all the various difficult terms, right? Yes. So this reduction in the death rate, as I have already said, and increase in the reproduction, this all has a lot of different effects in the rising of the human population. So these are the three main revolution which we can see due to the growth of the human population. The very first, we can see that the tool making revolution. So tool making revolution started using the tools, where the people shifted from the stone age to the metal age. Then the agricultural revolution, when people come to know about the how the different crops can be grown, with the varieties crops can be grown. So with the growing of the varieties crop, they can also get those types of crops, they can also consume them. And we already know that food is one of the most important resource for our survival, right? We always need the air, water and food. These are the three main resources without which we will not be able to survive. So when they come to know about the growing of the various types of crops, the different food, so they can overcome the death, and they can overcome the death which basically caused due to the malnutrition and all, right? So this is the second revolution, or the growth of the human population, we can say. And third is the scientific industrial revolution, which we have already mentioned. This is also a lot of research is going on nowadays, and the medical science is improving, so that the death rate will become lower, and the birth rate is it can be higher. And also we can say that whoever is surviving, so at least they can survive by taking the various types of medicine. So there is a huge improvement in the medical science as well as the industrial revolution. So that is why these are the three main causes, or the three main revolution we can consider, which we can see in the graph also. So this is the population growth, and this is the time. So according to the time, the growth of population is very high, it is increasing and increasing, right? So this is a very simplified model of the population growth starting from the very first year. I'm just giving you a very basic idea. Just this is for one example. If there are 10 couples, like 20 individual are there, and each of the couple is having 4 children, so what will happen? The total 40 children will be there, right? So the total population will be 20 human being, that is the 10 couples plus 40, it can be 60. Yes. So again after 20 years, again after 20 years, that is 40 years, if we think about the growing of the same production of the offsprings, if we see, then the parents in the after 20 years, the parents can be again 20, children will be 40, but grandchildren with that will be 80. So altogether we will get 140. So if it happens again and again, generation after generation, then we can see after every 60 years, that is the last we can see here in this table. Yes, Jasmine, I am making you understand better. I am explaining that. So, if after 60 years, we have started from year 1 and we are going to 60 years. So, after 60 years, just think about the total population. See, it was in the very first year, it was 60, and after 60 years, with the parents, children, children, great grandchildren, it is becoming 600. So 10 times larger from the previous population. Can you imagine? If it grows like this, the human population will be huge in our world. Up to this much clear hai? This is just one example. Okay, Jasmine? Now, let's move on to the need for adopting the control measure. Why this is very, very important. Why we are so much like concerned about the growing population. Because with the growth of the population, there are a lot of different serious threats. What can be the serious threats? First of all, the open spaces are decreasing. Okay, we are not getting that much open spaces for playing or like staying properly, doing the agricultural activities and all. Yep. Secondly, shrinking of the forest. So we get a lot of different types of things from the forest, right? So when the human population is increasing, they are basically cutting down the trees, and with the cutting down of the trees, there is a huge disbalance in our ecosystem. Yeah, do you agree with me? So there is a loss of habitat for the wildlife, there will be no proper water cycle will go on, a huge population will be there, pollution will be there, I'm very sorry. Then if I think about the oxygen and carbon dioxide balance, it will also be disbalanced. So these are the basic changes which will happen due to the increase of the population. Coming to the third, we can see the increasing industrialization can cause a lot of different types of pollution. Air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution. These are the different pollution which will occur due to the growth of the human being. Rapid and intense shortage of drinking water and also food. If I think about the other resources, the food, uh, like fossil fuels, and also all of them will be decreased due to huge demand of the human population. And obviously all the pollution will create a lot of different diseases on our body, so there will be a huge health hazard, right? So in order to reduce all this threat, we have to control the population growth. So the main reason for all this problem is the population, increasing population, right? So population in India, if I just see, then it is really an alarming rise of population happening over here. And the population of India is increasing like for 100 years, we can say. So growth rate over here is 1.1%, which is huge. Okay, it is very high. And at this rate, we India are now having 1.39 billion people, and in 2025, if it is increasing in this way, after 2025 it can overtake China also. We already know that China is the most populated country in the world, right? So if the rise of population is also the growth rate of the population continue like this 1.1% in India, it can also overtake China, right? So this is really a huge problem. And if we just think about if we just see the globe, then we will see the area of the China is huge than that of the India. Okay, so the population density is huge in India. Okay. Chalo. So let's now see what are the main problems or what are the main factors which are responsible for this huge population in India. First of all, it is the illiteracy. Then traditional beliefs. We have a lot of different superstition and traditional beliefs. Third is economic reasons. We will discuss all these points one by one. What is this meant by? Then is the mortality rate is decreasing nowadays because of the improvement of the medical science. Then desire for a male child. We are so much like in our society, it is like believed that male child will look after the family, they can earn for the family, and they just kill the female child, and for getting a male child they are becoming, they reproduce again and again, right? And that is the main reason for the increase of the population. And lack of recreation. If you think about the different uh, families of the rural areas, then this recreation is very less over there, and that is why they only concentrate about the reproduction and making the family and increasing the family. But that's all. Yes, Jasmine. What is illiteracy? Yes, illiteracy means there is no literacy, or we can say no education, no proper education. So when there is no proper education, what will happen? First of all, this illiteracy will happen, and there is a lot of different type of superstitious belief will there in the human society, and that will like they will function into the human reproductive system, and they will just increasing the human population. Secondly, same thing happen in case of the traditional belief, almost the similar. So what happened over here, there is a huge belief that children are the gift of God. So when the God is gifting us with the children, why we should not avoid the pregnancy? So this is the main reason for the increasing population. Coming to the third thing, that is the mortality rate. So due to the increase or the improvement of the medical science, so mortality rate is decreasing nowadays. And if we think about the previous time or in the villages, what happened, as there is a huge rate of the infant mortality means the death of human being during the infancy, means from 0 to 2 years of age. So as it is very huge, so people, what happened, they used to produce more and more children. So at least if they produce 9 to 10 children, 4 or 5 can die and other 6 will remain, right? So this is their belief, and that is why they are basically increasing the population by reproduction. Next is economic reason. So again, in the rural areas, people have this type of belief that more children means more income will be there. Okay, and that is why when there are more children, they will send them to the work so that they can earn more and more money for the family. Understood? So this also can give rise to another problem, that is the child labor. So what happened, the children do not go to the education, they do not go to the schools. Instead of that, they go to the work from the very young age, and they just so without education, what type of work they will get? Definitely some carrying something, this and that, very small type of work they will get. And basically this is done by the family members only to get more and more money. This is also another thing. And religious, social customs, no family planning, these are so definitely the different problems of the increasing population. Got it? Now let's move on to the resource. So not only these types of problem, there are a lot of different demand of the resources. When the increase of the population is there all over the world, so they should also get the different resources. They will also use the different natural and artificial resources so that they can we all basically love to lead a very comfortable and very luxurious life, right? Do you agree with me? So definitely there will be a huge pressure on the resources. So if I ask you, what do you mean by resources? So resources are nothing but the substances or the energy or organism which are used by the human being. okay, which are basically we are using for our welfare. So there are the rising, due to the rising population, the different pressures are there on, huge demand are there on the different natural resources. It can be the different resources which we get from the animals, the crude oil, the forest resources, we get the medicine and all the rubber, paper, these are made up of the different forest products, the metals, minerals, rocks which we use all the time, water resources, land resources, wind power and solar energy, natural gas, these are, we all use all these things in our daily life, right? So the main six natural resources, or the main six resources which are under pressure due to a huge increase of the population, and these are basically the production of these resources fall far short of the demand, are first of all the food is very important for us to survive. Then the land, we need the shelter, we need the land for cultivation, also we need the land for making the houses, right? So more population means more making of the buildings. Yes. Next is the forest. We get a lot of different things from the forest, a lot of different products, energy, water, and minerals. These are all the different resources which are very much under pressure because we all need them to fulfill our daily needs, right? First of all, the food. Let us discuss all these resources, how we are basically using all the time. Food is the most important thing. Without food we will not get the energy, without energy we will not be able to survive, or we will not be able to do any work, right? So we can see the human population is growing in geometrically. Okay, a geometrical progression is there in human population. Rather, the food is rising in arithmetic progression. So I will tell you what is geometric progression and arithmetic progression with the help of one example. And as the population is growing higher, the food also is running short of demand, because we all need the food. All the human beings needing the food. Without food they will not be able to survive. So when we are also increasing there, the food production should also increase in the same way, but it is not happening. Let's see with the help of an example that where father and mother is having four children, right? Now these four children, when they will get married, they will also give rise to other four children. So like this, the human population is increasing, and this progression is known as the geometrical progression. So basically what is happening over here, in each step it is multiplied. So 4 were there previously, so 4 into 4 16, 16 into 464, like this it is increasing, and this type of progression is known as geometrical progression. Got it? Now coming to the arithmetic progression which is taking place on the food, it is just in each step it is increasing by adding. So 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 6, 6 to 8. So it is very slow. If we just compare this 4 to 16, 16 to 64 with the 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8. So basically this number is very slowly increasing. Yes. Hi Pragya. Yes, yeah, definitely we will study someday the respiration in plant. You can find this video of respiration in plant in Swiflearn video, like YouTube channel only. We have already done with this chapter. Okay. Chalo. So this is about the geometrical progression which is happening, which is basically happening due to growth of the population, human population. And arithmetic progression, we can see the progression how the food is growing. Okay, so it is very less in amount. Coming to the land, so more land is very much required for our staying. We need the residential colonies for staying. We need the land for cultivating a lot of different types of crops. Without food, without growing the crops, we will not get the food, right? Usable land would thus become less and very less and less available because of the huge population. Thirdly, the forest products which we get, the main resources which we get from the forest, maybe the timber, the paper, the wood pulp, different types of medicines, firewood, resins, gums, and all. So these are all we get from the forest. So when the population is increasing, the demand of all these forest products are also increasing. They are also, people are using these forest products, and that is why what is happening? Yes, so they are, these resources are depleting, or we can say they are decreasing. So forest, we know it play a huge role, huge important role in our environment. First of all, they used to stabilize the total climatic condition, the total atmospheric temperature, by absorbing the carbon dioxide and releasing the oxygen. During the process of photosynthesis, they take in the oxygen and give in out the oxygen. So there is a proper balance of the oxygen and carbon dioxide in nature, right? They bring the rainfall and prevent flood, drought, this type of conditions. So the total water cycle is also maintained by the forest. And also this forest is a natural home of all the different wild animals. So that is why we should take care of the trees of the forest. We should not cut down the forest. But due to the increase of the population, for building the houses, building the different industries, factories, roadways, waterways, what is happening? People is cutting down the forest, and this cutting down of the forest is known as deforestation, we already know. And this results in a lot of different problems like flood, drought, global warming, soil erosion, and so on. Yes, so a lot of different types of problems is happening. So we need to take care of this forest by planting more and more trees, which we call as the afforestation. And the forest are one of our renewable resource, we know that. So by taking care of all these things, we should maintain the proper resources of the forest. What we basically demand, we should maintain their growth. Yeah. Next is the water. So, as the human population is increasing, there is a huge pollution in the water bodies. We know that we spill a lot of different type of thing. We throw them in the water. So, availability of the clean water is very less. So, germ-free water or clean water is very less, which can again in turn can create a lot of different types of diseases within our body. Right? Let's move on to the energy. We get a lot of different energy from the under the ground, that is the different fossil fuels, which help us to run the factories, transportation, vehicles, the different cooking. It is also used in the different cooking at home. So we get the coal and petroleum, which are the main fossil fuels. So when we are demanding them more and more due to the huge population, it is again decreasing in amount. Yes. And last but not the least, we are also demanding a lot of different types of minerals such as the iron, copper, so for making a lot of different types of things. So these are all the non-renewable resources. Once it is finished, we will not get it back again. It cannot be replaced. So we also always should keep it in mind that we should utilize them, we should use them, but after that we should also keep them for the future generation, so that they can also get to know, they can also get all these things in a proper way. So this is nothing but known as the sustainable development. So what is sustainable development? Hi, Ayushika, how are you? Yes. So this sustainable development is nothing that we will use all the different types of resources, and we will make it availability for the next generation also, so that they can also come to you, they can also use all these resources properly. So this type of management or this type of development is known as the sustainable development. We should not use or waste the different types of resources which are available. Fine. Chalo. So the sustainable development we can do by reducing the excessive use of the natural resources or wasting of the different natural resources. Yes, beta, I'm fine, Aishika. Next is the recycling and reusing the different types of resources wherever it is possible. Then you using the renewable resources such as the solar energy, wind energy. These we can renew, right? These will, even if we are using them again and again, they will never be finished, right? So these are very very important type of sustainable management. Now let's move on to the reduce in the growth of human population, how we can say like for better future of the mankind, the rate of growth of the human population must be reduced. So we can reduce them by mm, like depleting the burden or decreasing the burden on the natural resources. We can give the better health care, better education to the people. So let's discuss some of the statistical terms which definition you basically get in your examination. Like the demography, it is nothing but the statistical study of human being. Okay, how it is increasing or decreasing in size, their density distribution, this will all come under the demography. Next is population density. It is the number of population or the number of individual per square kilometer at a particular time, whether it is in a city or a town or a state or a country. So in a particular time, how many people or number of individual is living per square kilometer, we can calculate this population density like this. Next is birth rate or natality, we can say. So number of live birth per thousand people of the population per year will be the birth rate of that particular city or town. Death rate, similarly, the number of death per thousand of the population per year in a particular area. And growth rate, we can say that it is the difference between birth rate and death rate. So when birth rate is more, death rate is less, so definitely the population will grow. And when birth rate is less, lower than that of the death rate, and the death rate is high, so we can say here the population will decline or the population is decreasing. Got my point? Yes. Now let's move on to the main things which we should do is the education of the people. So population education and population control is very very important. The steps which we can do for educating the people is like the messages about the population problem should go to the remote areas, mainly the villages. They should know about the having the very small family advantages, कि small family का क्या क्या advantages हो सकता है, many children होने से, बहुत ज़्यादा children होने से क्या क्या disadvantages हो सकता है, they should know. Then marriageable age should be higher, restriction बहुत होना चाहिए, like for girls it should be maintained strictly by law कि 18 years के बाद ही शादी होगा, and in case of boys it will be after 21 years. Then married couples should be educated to delay the first birth of the first child, and to give a space in between the first and the second child, and to stop the third child giving birth to the third child, so that a proper family planning will be there. So family planning methods, the prevention of the pregnancy, contraceptive methods, these should be given. All these types of ideas should be given to the people so that we can control the population overall. So family welfare, we have already seen this inverted triangles in various region, like office में रहता है, hospitals में रहता है, various doctors clinics में रहता है. So they basically help us to give the advice of the family planning free of cost. And this family welfare, these are known as the family welfare centers. So family planning is a term of having this very small family. These are the three main aspects of this family welfare. First is getting very small family. Secondly, taking care of the children, giving proper immunization, oral rehydration therapy, so that they can survive during the infancy or the young age. And third is the welfare of the small family, total welfare, the total diet, nutrition of the child as well as the pregnant mother. So these are the three main things which comes under this family welfare. ठीक है? Chalo. The last thing which we are going to discuss in today's session is the contraception. What do you mean by contraception? The controlling of the birth or preventing pregnancy is known as the contraception. So there are a lot of different types of methods of contraception. First of all is the hormonal pills are there. So there are the medicines which basically prevent the release of the egg. So agar release नहीं होगा egg from the ovary, तो definitely fertilization नहीं होगा, right? So these are the oral pills which can be taken by women. Barrier methods, first of all, is the condom, which can be used to prevent the sperm to come in contact with the ovum. Next is diaphragm, which can be fitted deep in the vagina so that it can again prevent the entry of the sperm to the uterus. And sperm killing agents are also used. These are the chemical which are placed within the vagina so that it can kill the sperm, so that again the sperm will not come in contact with the egg. So these are the different methods by which we can people can mm, control the or prevent the pregnancy. Next is the intrauterine devices are there, like copper T, lip lop and all. These are fitted within the uterus. So over here fertilization cannot be stopped. Here the prevention of the implantation of the embryo can be stopped within the uterine wall. This is another method. Next is very important, like the surgical method can be there before marriage, or if anybody do not want any child, so it can be done by tubectomy and vasectomy. So tubectomy means the fallopian tube, a very small portion of the fallopian tube of a female is cut and ligated so that the passage of egg will be blocked and the egg will not come towards the uterus. And similarly, another surgical operation, like surgical method in case of the male can be done, that is the vas deferens. A small piece of the vas deferens is cut and ligated so that the sperm will not come out, okay, from there. So these are the different surgical methods. So other than this, abortion or the medical termination of the pregnancy, which we call in short as the MTP, can be done, but it is not considered as the contraceptive method. Definitely, it is illegal also after 5 months of pregnancy. So fetus removed. Here in this case, fetus can be removed if the embryo is suffering from a lot of different type of genetic diseases. Any serious genetic disease is there, so it can be removed, and it is legally permitted only within 5 months of pregnancy, not after that. So let me tell you some of the facts now. This is all about today's session about the population chapter. So the world's population is growing by 1.05% per year in 2020, or approximately it can be additional 81 million people annually. Can you imagine? And the global population is expected to reach 8.6 billion in 2030, 9.8 2050 may, or 11.2 billion can happen in 21 century, 20, 22nd century basically. Yeah. And the sex ratio of the entire world population is 101 male is to 100 female. This is because of killing of the female child. Okay. Yes. So that's all for today's session. Let us see what we have already discussed. We have discussed about the rise of the population, the different factors responsible for the rise of population. We have discussed about the pressure of the natural resources, like these are the natural resources due to the rise of the population on which a huge pressure is there. Sustainable development we have studied, and we have also studied about the population control, how to control the population, the family welfare, family planning is very important, and contraception method, the different methods of contraception, so that the prevention of the pregnancy can be done, right? So these are some of the questions for your homework. Try to write down these questions. We will discuss in the next session. And this type of question basically you will get in your board exam as well as the school exam. So thanks a lot. Thank you very much for staying till the end of the session. And yes, Jasmine is asking who is the session of the day. Okay, I can get most of the queries and most of the answers from Jasmine. So thank you very much, Jasmine, for giving me the response in the chat box. So Jasmine, clap for Jasmine for being the student of the session. Thank you very much. Thanks to all of you for staying till the end. We will again meet in the next session. So do not forget to subscribe our channel who have not subscribed it till now, and press the bell icon so that you will never miss any of the update of the upcoming sessions. We will again meet in the next session. Do not forget to like, comment, and share also. Okay, so bye bye then. We will again meet in the next session. So till then, take care, stay safe, and stay healthy. Bye bye.